Hello and welcome to episode 24 of the Middle Ground podcast, where today we're going to be talking about something very important to a lot of you, which is getting shredded for summer, getting in great shape for summer. Now, this is going to be a slightly different take to something you might have heard before. I'm not simply going to outline how you can get shredded for summer, because you know, really, eat less, move more, hit your protein, train hard. It's a simple equation. What we're kind of going to be talking about is whether you need to get shredded for summer, and if you do, the best way to go about it, okay? So summer is in about 2.5 months, which really isn't very long away. Not at all. So if you have a massive amount of weight to lose, quite a large proportion of your body weight to lose, 2.5 months is not a long enough time to lose that. And I wouldn't aim to, because it's going to require you to be in a massive deficit. It's not going to be very enjoyable. And, no dieting phase is particularly enjoyable, but that's really not going to be very fun. So I wouldn't aim for that. That wouldn't be my first port of call. Now, I do understand why you might want to get shredded for summer, because I enter a fat loss phase of summer. I'm in one right now. It's good to feel confident. It's good to feel happy about the body that you're in. But losing fat isn't necessarily the best way to go about that. It's not always the perfect way to go about it. And it's not always what you care about. Because if you just enter a massive deficit and get really lean for summer, you're not going to have energy to do the things that you want to do. Which are the things that make summer so amazing? It's being able to hang out with your friends, to eat food with your friends, to have barbecues, to have meals, to go for drinks, to sit in a pub garden, to sit in a bloody pub garden. If you are so focused on being dick skin lean, you will not want to sit in a pub garden. What the fuck's the point in that? What is the point in that? So, if you do care about being lean, my biggest piece of advice would be to diet now, enter a deficit now if you're not already in one, and maintain for summer. Enter a maintenance phase of summer. You bring your calories up, you have more energy, you have more disposable calories. So you can hit your protein, and you can go for drinks, and you can have meals out, and you're in a maintenance phase. You've already achieved the physique you're happy with. All you've got to do is maintain it, and if you go over a little bit, it's fine. It doesn't really matter. I wouldn't try and diet through summer. That is never a good idea. But equally, if you're confident, and you have energy, and you feel good about how you look, maybe you don't need to diet for summer at all. Maybe it's not something that matters to you, and you can just crack on with your training, keep training hard throughout summer and the summer months, and then enjoy the rest of it. There's no one size fits all. Not everyone has to get lean for summer. Not everyone has to diet for summer. I think the main point is being confident about how you look, and just being able to enjoy yourself without focusing on your body too much, or being overly concerned or conscious about your body. So here's what not to do if you are thinking about dieting for summer. The main things that I think matter here are to not be extreme, to not overly restrict, not engage in endless cardio, not enjoyable at all, to sacrifice your social life, because realistically, there's going to have to be some sacrifices. You're not going to be able to go out and get pissed all the time. You're not going to be able to eat everything you want all the time. However, that doesn't mean you can't have any of that, and especially on the run-up to summer, you should enjoy it. You should enjoy your year round. Losing fat should never mean removing your social life. It's such an important part of your overall general health, is having an active social life and being able to spend time with people that you care about and do things, go out for meals, go out for drinks. It's not, it's not an option, I don't think, to remove that for someone. So you've got to enjoy your social life. Don't become a miserable dickhead. Massive. Do not become a miserable dickhead. That's your biggest thing that you should not be doing, is dropping your calories so low that you have no energy and you're just a cunt to be around. No one likes that. That's no one's friend. And lastly, crash diets. Don't cut out carbohydrates. Don't go carnivore. Just don't. I will explain to you how you're going to lose fat for summer without doing any of those things I just talked about right now. Diet-wise, 500 calorie deficit a day. Simple stuff. That's a pound of fat a week, theoretically. Pretty sustainable. Not going to be, Not going to be too hard. You can push it harder if you want. If you want, go 750. Go our 750 deficit a day. It's going to be harder. Obviously, the bigger deficit you do, the harder it's going to be to stick to. Potentially, the less time you'll have to stick to it, but it's an equation that you have to weigh up. Would you rather it be harder for a short amount of time or easier for longer? That's up to you, right? Again, diet-wise, high protein target. I'd be going 1 gram per pound of body weight. If you're in a steep deficit, you need to have more of a focus on protein from a satiety perspective, so to make sure you're full and not overeating, and from a muscle preservation perspective, make sure you are eating enough protein. Generally, my recommendation is 0.7 to 1 gram per pound of body weight, but for now, go 1 gram. 1 gram per pound of body weight. If you're 200 pounds, 200 grams of protein. If you're quite overweight and you've got quite a lot of excess fat, maybe don't. Go for, 1 gram per pound of target body weight. That's a really good thing, but it's not a negotiable to be hitting your protein. This has to be done. Otherwise, you will just lose muscle, you'll waste away, and you'll become skinny before summer. And you'll get rid of the muscle that you've worked so hard to build, especially if you're in a bigger deficit. You're going to hit a consistent step target. Absolutely massive. Is hitting a consistent step target. It can be 7,000 a day, it can be 10,000, it can be 15, it can be 20. The higher your step count is, the easier the diet will be to adhere to. Because you can either eat more and still be in the same deficit, or you can be in a bigger deficit. Walking doesn't really have any impact on hunger signaling, so it won't make you more hungry. It won't increase your appetite, and there's a very little recovery cost from walking, so it's not going to affect your recovery. Walk as much as you can would be my biggest recommendation here. If you need something from the shop, and the shop is a mile away, walk to the shop and walk back. You've just banged out 4,000, 5,000 steps. It's not rocket science to think that if you increase your steps, it's going to be easy to adhere to. Massively overlooked factor, in my opinion. Massively underrated. Now, sleep. 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep. I speak about this all the time. Sleep is your foundation. Sleep is your strong base that you build everything on top of. If you don't pay attention to your sleep, if you fuck up your sleep, everything else will fall away. It makes everything so much harder. You could be in a bigger deficit and have solid sleep, and it would be much easier to adhere to than being at maintenance with shit sleep. I promise you. The impact of poor sleep and a poor sleep schedule on being able to adhere to a diet, on hunger signaling, on decision making, on motivation, on desire to do hard things is absolutely massive. If you take one thing away from this, get better sleep, and everything will be easier, okay? And then finally, resistance training 2 or 3 to 4 times a week. You can go twice a week. You can go 3 times a week. That's my recommendation. 3 to 4 is the sweet spot, I believe. It's not enough that you feel like you're always in the gym, but it is enough to see really solid progress and really solid change. Especially if you are in a deficit, you will need to be resistance training to make sure that you're holding onto the muscle. Those are the 2 things you need to be doing. Resistance training, eating your protein to make sure that you're holding onto muscle. If your strength stays the same in the gym and you see the weekly average scale weight go down week on week, you are just losing fat. You're not losing any muscle. That is sick. To know that you're just losing fat because your lifts are staying the same, if not improving, incredible. Absolutely wonderful. In my opinion, one of the coolest feelings is being in a deficit, knowing that you're losing fat and not losing your strength. Awesome. Make sure that you have time for social stuff in this routine. Please do not sacrifice your life outside of your health on the run up to summer just to get leaner, to enjoy summer more, because you won't. You won't. You will have not enjoyed the run up to summer, and you'll get to summer and it just won't hit the same, in my opinion. You might have missed out on 2.5 months of social activities and memories made with people that you care about to be a little bit leaner for summer. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. I don't think the small marginal progress that you might make extra is not worth sacrificing those memories for. The issue is that if people can't recover from a quote-unquote off-plan event, if you go out for dinner, crack on like normal the next day and you'll barely notice a difference. If you go out for dinner and you continue to eat like an asshole for the next 4 days, yes, you're going to notice a difference. But if you can just recover straight away, get back to normal, keep cracking on, the difference you notice will be minimal, if any. There is no point being in great shape if you are a hermit and if you don't see anyone. No one wants to be in great shape but sat in their room alone. You want to be in great shape and out with your friends and on the beach with your top off. It's as simple as that. It's so much cooler to be social, to be confident, and in great shape. It's fucking sick. I personally think there is much too much focus on being super lean for summer in general media and in fitness media, whatever you want to call it, in social media as well, and not enough on just being confident in who you are, especially at summer. You're going to be outgoing. You're going to you're going to be able to wear the clothes that you want to wear. You're going to treat people nicer. You're going to be there for people. It's not about how you look. It's about how you feel about how you look. So if you're confident and you feel like you look sick and you're really happy about it, but you're eating enough food and you're not sacrificing things, you're going to be in a much better position and have much more fun than the guy that is a couple % body fat leaner than you, but is boring and can't enjoy his summer properly because he's over-restricting too much. So again, it's an equation you've got to weigh up where what's the point of diminishing returns in terms of how you look? Because there is one. And that might be 13% body fat, 10% body fat, 8%, whatever it is for you. There's a point where it gets harder to sustain than is worth it because it impacts your ability to enjoy yourself. No one cares about this more than you do. No one cares about it more than you do. It's just a matter of fact. I don't reckon anyone that you are hanging out with will notice the difference between, 12% body fat and 10% body fat. Or at least a memorable acknowledgement. And go, he wasn't as lean as I thought he was going to be. No one gives a fuck, mate. No one gives a fuck. You are the only person that cares. So do something that makes you happy, makes you proud. That's the most important thing. You're confident when you make promises to yourself and you keep them and you show up in a way that serves yourself. Those are the things that make you confident and outgoing and enjoy social events and the summer more, not just being leaner. The goal is to feel confident and comfortable. Being shredded will not solve those issues for you. It just won't. It might help because it's a function of showing up for yourself and making promises and keeping them and looking after yourself, and mentally you'll feel better and you'll feel better at how you look. But being shredded, it just isn't the cure-all for those issues of not being confident and not being socially outgoing. It just doesn't happen, okay? Be the person that you're proud of, act in aligned ways, and you will feel much more confident, and you'll probably get in shape in the meantime. So there we have it. That's the guide to getting shredded for summer. Figure out if it's important to you. I outlined how to do it. And then remember that the most important part is that you're confident, you're comfortable, you're happy, and you have enough capacity to enjoy the things that you want to enjoy in summer. Okay. Thank you very much for listening to the Middle Ground podcast. I know this has been a short, rapid one, but I don't really think there's much more else to cover than that. So there we go. Thank you for tuning in. This has been the Middle Ground podcast. Make sure to like, rate, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram @JudeNCoaching, and I will see you all in the next episode.